Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 3,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 100 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
Hello, friends. This is Spencer Love, your host of Over the Top Rope on the Win Column Sports Network. Don't forget you can head to wincolumnsports.ca for all of your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling, be it your major promotions or from the great province of Alberta, Canada.
If you like podcasts and you are listening to on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
and myself, Manoy,
and the Sounds of Struggle, because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling
and other sports we like.
Wrestling.
But we won't talk about other sports that we don't like, because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling.
I mean, we like hockey.
And wrestling.
And we like football.
And wrestling.
And we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling.
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
That's when we hope to drop, but sometimes Mike Malawany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word, because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
I'll try not to swear. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's face it, the two of us, we're real.
And spectacular.
And we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
We're also strugglicious.
That we are.
That was kind of the key. We're supposed to be strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no. You're stupid, because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah. What he said.
Later, bitches.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of Quick Calls here. I am Mike the Ref Maloney, the CD engineer here at Backbreaker Media, as well as your host of CWC Evolution on the Powerslam TV, as well as the Backbreaker Video on Demand channel. I'm here for the review of the season finale of the Canadian Wrestling Coalition as they presented Kingdom Come Volume 2 from Festival Hall in Red Deer. Now, first of all, if you're in Red Deer and you missed this show, you're one of the very few that did, because we were looking at, I gotta say, close to 400 people at this show here. Every chair was taken. There were people standing up in behind, and fantastic atmosphere from the entire crowd. So a big thank you to everybody there. We had a lot of big things go down in this show, as well as we have a new champion, a new CWC champion, but we'll get to that here a little later on here. Let's go through the matches one by one and break them down for you. Now, right off the bat, one of the surprises I want to talk about is not necessarily the match itself, but what Pride did before his match. When he came out to the ring, unfortunately, he grabbed the mic once again from Commissioner Bob Gordon and proceeded to not only call out Lumberjack Larry, but calling out people in other companies. For example, he called, from what I could decipher based on the clues that he was giving out before the match, there was one obvious after, but there were a few before. He was calling out the Saltwater Savage Andrew Hawks. He was calling out Aiden Adams, one of the new PWA Tag Team Champions, which I'll discuss at the end of the show here. And also he called out Michael Richard Blaze. He started a little bit of rumors that I'm thinking he might be taking a little bit more than he could chew here, but he calls everybody out. You wonder if he's going to take this match seriously against his opponent, Lumberjack Larry Woods, who recently returned from injury and is one of the very few competitors to get both a pinfall and a submission victory over Pride in various matches. The submission victory for Pride was during a tag match, but it was still a submission by Woods on Pride. So here we go, Alberta title on the line. You got Pride, Lumberjack Larry Woods. A hell of a match, a very technical match. The turning point of the match actually happened rather early when Pride ended up doing a Finley type catch the guy trying to do a baseball slide into the ring apron. Sorry about the stuttering there. Into the ring apron and proceed just to lay waste on him. Woods gets thrown back into the ring. Continual beatdown by Pride. Larry manages to fight out of it. Ends up hitting the ripcord clothesline, the log roll. And then he had him in the Buddha lock. He had Pride locked in the Buddha lock. I thought it was going to be it. I thought we were going to have a new champion here. But Pride manages to cheat, flip his way over into a Dragon Sleeper submission. And there was no tap out. It was a pass out by Lumberjack Larry Woods. And your victor by submission in this match, Pride, with unfortunately Envy at ringside too. She got involved, but I want to focus on her match later on instead of bringing her up here. She was a bit of an X factor with that amazing upkick she does, knocking Woods all over the place there, but I digress. Now coming out of the ring after the match, the fans might not have seen it so much, but I was doing camera work and it came out bang on with me. He blatantly called out MRB by name in this as he's leaving the ring. So, Michael Richard Blaze, I hope you're watching this because I think you're going to want to pay attention to Pride here. He's going to keep calling you out. That's one thing I know for sure. He's going to call you out until he gets what he wants, but I wonder if he really wants it by the end of this. So. But then from there, we had the Open Challenge tag match from the Wrecking Crew with the General at ringside. Now, Commissioner Bob Gordon openly admitted during the pre-match promo that Gordon had failed to provide proper competition for the Wrecking Crew. So Martins, Richter, and the General told Gordon that they needed to find somebody to give them proper competition. But all of a sudden out of that, the man that comes out is my color guy for CWC Evolution, Primetime Xander Price. Now, for those that don't know, Primetime is actually on the shelf for... he has some problems with his orbital bones right now, so he's still in recovery for that, so that's why he's been on color commentary. So it really shocked me that the fact he was out here to... I thought originally he was going to be part of this match, but he actually found a tag team that he wanted to bring out and challenge the Wrecking Crew. So Who is it? Well, if you guys have followed Monster Pro Wrestling, you've seen what the team is known as the Catalyst. Rick Jules and James Crowder. Well, they've had a little change of heart here at CWC, and they are now known as the Dad Bod Squad. Come out with half belly shirts, and my God, they make my physique look good. So that's a scary thing, if you ask me, folks. Going into this match, just seeing these two teams here, I thought it was going to be an absolute walk for the champions. Far from it. Rick Jules, James Crowder, they did a hell of a job in this match. And to my knowledge, this is one of the first times that these two have come out as good guys in this match, or faces as they call it. The crowd really took to them. If you guys have ever heard the Clapper commercial, I'm not going to sing it, folks, for everybody's mental safety here. But they did it to time to Dad Bod Squad. Dad Bod. That was one of the funny parts about it. But one of the highlights of this matchup here, there was a bunch of chaos at ringside, and the General decided to get involved. And Xander Price managed to get his hands on the General and just popped him one. The place, I don't know if everybody got a chance to see it, but the ones that did, oh my God, did it explode in there for that. Immediately, the Wrecking Crew comes out to the General's aid. And this is going to bring out to one of my personal service announcements for wrestling folks. Fans, you are not part of the match. Do not try and steal the General's cane in the middle of a match. Two fans got a little overzealous there and tried to get involved. Frankly, in my opinion, those two fans should have been kicked out for what they were doing. And but I digress. I don't want to give them that much attention here. Eventually, the Wrecking Crew manager, I believe it was Martins, that shoved Jules into the ring post and knocked him down and kept him distracted. Then Crowder's in the ring and suffers a car wreck for the 1, 2, 3, and retaining the championships is the Wrecking Crew. With that being said, after the match, you had Sean Martins into pile driving Crowder, and then Jules, I believe, suffered a car wreck as well. Both these guys got... Oh, no, sorry. Jules got hit with the roaring elbow by Richter. I don't want to miss that one at all. But also, in a promo for this match, the Wrecking Crew demanded after this match that they take on... Sorry, let me back it up here a second here. All-Star Wrestling out of Vancouver was having a tag team tournament called the West Coast Classic 2. They decided to make their opinions known that this tournament was not a valid tournament without them in it, and they demanded to take on the champions as soon as the champions are declared for that tournament, because they want to show how dominant they are, and they are willing to put the CWC titles on the line. Well, I can give you guys a little insight into this now, because some breaking news came out over the Backbreaker Media Twitter account overnight. Coming out of ASW, the winners of that tournament were actually Team Wild and Dangerous, featuring local competitors Tyler James and the Line Warrior Bobby Sharp, who ended up winning that tournament. And personally, if they hear this and they want to accept the challenge of the Wrecking Crew, that would be a hell of a match that I would enjoy seeing. Definitely would be a very interesting change of styles with those two teams. So I hope I get to see it. And But you got to give the Wrecking Crew their due. They pulled out a hell of a victory due to their teamwork once again. There was some cheating, but nothing more out of the ordinary, or nothing we're going to see like coming up in our main event here. But let's get on to our third match here. And this one here, I thought was going to be a rather interesting matchup here. These two have met each other in tag matches, but this is the first one-on-one encounter, well, mostly one-on-one encounter between the prototype Alex Zwicker as well as against Envy. Now, of course, Pride is in Envy's corner, and we had Cherry Doll in the corner of Alex Zwicker here. Now, it looks like Allie's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the surroundings here in CWC. She looked a lot smoother in the ring here tonight and managed to hold her own against, well, I can say confidently here, one of the best in Alberta in women's wrestling right now in Envy. Now, the turning point of this matchup here was the constant interference with Pride at the outside. Just trying to dig in, get his little shots like a little gnat he is. Finally, Cherry Doll had enough. Chased Pride around the ring, chased him into the ring. Pride didn't want to have anything of it, tried to bail out of the ring. Cherry Doll caught him and hit him with her Cherry Clash, her version of the Styles Clash. Folks, you hear about a Road Warrior pop in independent wrestling? This was a Road Warrior pop in independent wrestling. That little idjit, I'd say idjit midget, but you know, short hair, short braids, short height, all three of those put together. Pride has been a gnat, a thorn in everybody's side. And he just got his due finally. And the whole place absolutely erupted. And this is mid-match, by the way, folks. This is happening in the ring, mid-match. Since there was no connection between the actual participants in the matchup, referee Ken Kine let this go. And then as Cherry's outside the ring, following all this, Envy's checking on Pride. That gives Alex the chance to grab Envy and hit her with that beautiful DDT for the 1-2-3 and the victory. Now, defeating Envy right now is probably one of the biggest feats you can do because nobody's really been able to do it in months in singles competition outside of that first match with Cherry Doll. And that, I don't think anybody saw that Cherry Clash coming. So kudos to Alex and Cherry for doing what they needed to do to secure this victory here. And it makes me wonder what the future is going to hold here for Envy as she's taken a... I would have to consider this a big loss for her right now. The fact that she got taken out by Alex Zwicker. If there were any rumblings of coming up with a tag or a women's title for the division, Alex has got to be named right in there for it. So, but that's something to deal with in the next season here, folks. From there, we went to intermission, and then following that, we had it originally was scheduled to be a last person standing match between Mr. Saturday Night Dylan Stone and Wrath. Unfortunately, I'm still trying to get the deciphered reasons, but you can obviously understand why I don't want to talk to Pride or Envy. Wrath is no longer available to make it, at least for this show. But Commissioner Bob Gordon comes up with a replacement in Nasty Nate Nixon, the former NPW provincial champion. Yes, I like to remind everybody that he's a former champion. It just makes me feel good inside. Now this one here, this match, very technically sound, because you know Dylan is pound for pound one of the best wrestlers in Alberta, even when it comes to catch as catch can or the professional wrestling style. But Nasty Nate manages to he has a style amongst them that sort of changes the pace to any match that he's in. His moveset, the way he moves around the ring, his interactions with the crowd, gives it a whole different feeling. It took a little bit of feeling out by Dylan Stone to sort of figure it out, but in the end, he does get the victory with the Saturday Night Special, that running knee across the face for the 1-2-3 of the victory. But after the match, I don't know whether that was hairspray, body odor spray. I hope it was body odor, frankly, because it's nasty Nate's. But whatever it is, it was a carcinogenic chemical that got sprayed in the eyes of Dylan Stone, shielding him, blinding him. And what happened next just baffled me. That according to Nate, he's trying to consider himself one of the most beautiful people in Alberta wrestling right now. I hate to break it to you, Nate, but this ugly face is way on top of you in terms of looks, but I digress at that point. He decides to bring out a fake mask, one of those plastic Halloween masks, not just the half face, but the full face plasticine mask, puts it over Stone and just wraps it up in electrical tape, and then hits it with that buck nasty DDT for a second time, completely knocking out Mr. Saturday Night, as he has to be helped to the back after. The crowd really didn't know what to make of this, and frankly, neither did I. I got a feeling this is a little bit of a Cody Rhodes thing going on, where everybody else has to be uglier than him, so he's going to put ugly masks on the guys. But you know what? I'm going to take my time. I'll talk to him. I'll figure it out somehow. But we'll get this sorted out as to what the heck happened there. But then from there, we had our main event for the CWC Championship. Now, originally, this was going to be scheduled as a triple threat match between the Cheetahbear Jude Dawkins, the former CWC champion Chris Parrish, and the current champion, the chairman of the CWC, Johnny Kickass. However, Commissioner Bob Gordon was not able to get medical clearance from the doctors to have Parrish as a part of this matchup. Now, speaking as it's my last week as Monster Pro Wrestling General Manager, I can tell you that getting medical clearance sometimes can be a real pain in the tuchus. Sometimes you just have to go past the doctor's orders, but I don't blame Bob for not doing that. Knee injuries are a real pain for people, and you got to look for the wrestler's best futures here. So things got a little nasty between Parrish and Gordon, where Parrish got essentially barred from the building. So he's out of the match. He's barred from the building, and we got Jude Dawkins versus Johnny Kickass. Now, if you want to go on to the Cheetah Bear's Instagram, Twitter, all that social media, he's been posting photos of the past between himself and Johnny Kickass, so you know this match has been very personal. Now, this is one of those weird matches. This is one time you're going to hear me say this, that I actually thought it was a good thing that this match dragged on a little bit longer than most people think it should. Now, hear me out on this, folks. After what we saw with Nate Nixon and Dylan Stone, the crowd was still trying to process what was going on with that situation as the championship match began. Let the fans process some stuff. Let them enjoy the Cheetah Bear's new headgear that he has. By the way, beautiful headgear. It took a couple minutes, but the crowd started getting into it. Then the match really started to ramp up a fair bit. They got really vicious on the outside, the inside. On the outside, the Cheetah Bear decided to take out Kickass with a couple fans. One holding, the other one holding him. Kickass ends up getting the advantage outside. One of the sickest moves I saw was basically a Blue Thunder Bomb into the into the stairs, which folded up the back of the cheetah bear in half. But no matter what these two could do in the ring, they were hitting every move possible. Red queens, power bombs, super kicks. There was a point on the outside where Jude got hit with, I think, 6 to 8 super kicks. I'd have to go back to the video and count, which, by the way, make sure you check out the video. He just got labeled with super kick after super kick after super kick on the outside, but neither man would stay down. So, Kick-Ass gets upset. Looks at Gordon. Gordon just says, well, what are you going to do? All of a sudden, he grabs Ken Kine and just decimates the referee. Just nails him with a couple shots, knocks him down, hits him with a power bomb, so Kine's out of it. So Kick-Ass goes to the outside, grabs a chair. We knew the chair was going to get involved somehow in this matchup, but we were just hoping beyond hope this could be a one-on-one clean matchup. But as Johnny's trying to attack Jude with the chair, Commissioner Bob Gordon, of all people, gets in the ring. Then he gets ragdolled by Johnny Kick-Ass. Sorry, folks, got a little bit of a cold here, so if I stutter a little bit, forgive me here. He's about to set him up for that power bomb to finish off Commissioner Gordon, and all of a sudden some music plays. Like some random music that nobody knew what it was. And all of a sudden this mysterious figure in a sort of black and, yes folks, it similarly looked like Sting, comes out to the ring. Very stoic, has a mask on. Kick-Ass doesn't know what to make of it here. So he looks. He's thinking it's possibly one of those masked attackers from way back when he took out Sidney Steele in an Irish street fight with the help of 3 different attackers, but who knows at that point. All of a sudden he goes to take the chair shot. This mysterious man gets a bat out of his cape, somewhere out of there. I'd say his coat or his pants or something, but either way, smacks the chair out of Johnny Kick-Ass's hand and then just levels it with a bat. Immediately, he kicks the chair over to Dawkins. The Cheetah Bear, being the opportunist in this situation, just nails Johnny with 2 sick chair shots to the head. I'll tell you right now, folks, if you're going to watch the video, I will not let you see those chair shots. They were too gross and too violent. I don't want them on any of my TV or videos, so I will have a clip that'll let it go to your imagination. But, sorry folks, I'm going to break the fourth wall here a little bit. Wrestlers will put their hands up to protect themselves a little bit. Kick-Ass was out of it. He didn't take a his arms didn't get up at all to protect himself. So those 2 chair shots knocked Kick-Ass out. 1, 2, 3, and we got a new CWC champion. Now this mysterious stranger takes the belt from Bob Gordon as he's about to come in to present it to the new champion gleefully. But then you find out that you have them revealing at that point. And the reveal ends up being Chris Parrish. Commissioner Bob Gordon isn't upset about it, but you know what? The fact that there's a new champion, I think forgives a few things at that point. And they end the night with the embrace, the shaking of the hands and the embrace between Parrish and Dawkins, the ultimate sign of respect. And we have a brand new CWC champion. And I will tell you something, folks, the pop that Dawkins got on that 3 count, it was deafening in the building, without a doubt. But everybody leaves home happy, and that's what we got to wrap up the show with, folks. So let me go to my highlights of the night, and I'll simply, on top of the crowd, which I mentioned earlier, I got to go with those 2 biggest pops of the night. Number 1 for Johnny Kick-Ass being defeated by Jude Dawkins for that title, that roar of the crowd is something you do not feel every day in a wrestling arena. And speaking of that, the Cherry Clash from Cherry Doll on to Pride, my God, was there a pop in the building for that. Like, it was beautifully executed, beautifully hit, and the crowd ate it up. So, for me, those are my two highlights of the night on top of the crowd. The surprise of the night, just how Parrish managed to get into the building and seemingly fool everybody, including Johnny Kick-Ass, and changing the tide of that match. So, all the power to Parrish for doing that. That's got to be my surprise of the night. But before I go here and run into our upcoming events here, want to give a special shout out to Derek Law. The Law is officially retired from CWC action. He's got his own reasons. I don't ask. Frankly, it's none of my business, so I don't think anybody else should pry into it too. I just want to say thank you for all your hard work, Derek, and good luck in all your future endeavors. So, but that's going to wrap up the season of CWC here. So, coming up on the network, coming up for upcoming shows, we got the double bill of wrestling action on December 5th with RCW having their Holiday Chaos show at the St. John's Cultural Center. There are some details about the card. I don't know all the details, so I can't reveal those. As well, Monster Pro Wrestling will be hosting Blitzkrieg 4 that night from the Alberta Ave Hall in Edmonton. That's actually going to be my last night as general manager. I'm just finalizing some details on the card. I hope to have a video of what's going on here coming up this week. Make sure you stay tuned to Monster Pro Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Backbreaker Media, as I will be sending some stuff out here as I'm trying to get some videos done as well. So it's been a little crazy for me, folks, this week. So just as I'm trying to wrap up my duties here and hand them off to the powers that be that are coming in next month. So, but in terms of network production, hopefully coming in the next day or so here, I'm just waiting for the email from Andre C. It's the Prairie Wrestling Alliance Christmas Slam show was covered on Quick Calls by Andre as well as Ryan and Amanda. That card featured Sheik Akbar Shabazz taking on 1/3 of the ROH six-man champs, the future Frankie Kazarian, member of SCU, of course. And then as well, the final match for Dirty Duke Durango as he teams up with his Team Hall of Fame partner, Chris Steele, to take on the Western Lions, Michael Richard Blaze and Brandon Van Danielson. I've heard reports about it being such a humdinger of a match, but I want you guys to make sure that you hear what's going on with that coming up. So, other than that, Total Nonstop Anarchy is going to return this week. Andre's gone back to the asylum, and I do believe he's brought another Andre with him, so that's going to be rather interesting. And then, of course, Quick Calls from, I think we're going to get them for both shows. We're just going to finalize some details here. I know I will be at Monster Pro Wrestling. That's probably going to be a little more of a diffuse podcast. So I'll give you guys a little bit of details about what's going on. And other than that, Sounds of Struggle coming out every Thursday. And folks, I got some surprises on tap for you. So don't forget to check out the network. Of course, I have an article coming up in a week and a half for ProWrestlingPost.com. My next article is going to be about getting into the politics of wrestling in Edmonton with this moratorium that happened last year and a lot of the details that are going on with it and my experiences through it. So make sure you check out ProWrestlingPost.com. Make sure you check out PowerSlam.tv for all our video on demand stuff, which in the month of December I hope to get a bunch of stuff on there and catch up as my tenure with Monster Pro Wrestling ends. I'll have a little bit more time to do that. And other than that, I think I've been rambling on here a little bit too long here. So I'm going to thank each and every one of you for checking out the podcast. Make sure you share this out with all your friends, because we want to get the word out about how great Alberta wrestling is. So, but I just want to remind all you fine wrestling fans that if you're going to make a good call, make a quick call. And this has been Quick Calls covering the Canadian Wrestling Coalition Kingdom Come Volume 2 from Festival Hall in Red Deer here on Backbreaker Media.